In this video, I'm going to show you the playbook. Remember, when you're trading, the market is nothing more than a game, whether you're trading the stocks game or you're doing the options game. And the options actually is more like a game because there's an expiration. When you're trading stocks, there is no expiration. So the game technically never ends unless they go bankrupt. But with options, you have a beginning and an end. An option or a game can last 1 day, 7 days, 30 days, 1 year. You get to choose what game you want to play depending on what your outlook is and where you think the stock's going to go in the shortest amount of time. So, in the previous video, we talked about the foundation, knowing how to trade with purpose, with clarity. That's where a lot of people mess up, is that they don't know what's actually their path. They're just trading and they don't realize what their specific goals are. And so it's easy to get off the path. That's why it's based on your mindset, which is purpose, your discipline, and your confidence, your integrity. And that's where me, as your coach, I'm going to help you trade with purpose, know what your goals are, and know exactly the plan to achieve your goals. Trusting the process, trusting the probabilities, and most importantly, trusting something greater than yourself. Your why has to be stronger than your what, because if you don't have a strong enough why, a purpose, then you're not going to be able to trade with discipline when times get tough. All right. So now that you have the foundation and you know exactly your goals, the next step is the blueprint. And the blueprint is very easy. Number one, you just got to find the trade. That's patterns, looking at psychology of traders. Number two, you got to build the trade. Building the trade is the option strategies, the risk to reward. And then third, you got to execute the trade, putting in mechanical orders, using your trading platform like a professional, mastering the tools of the trade. It's very simple. And in my courses, I'll teach you each step by step so that you don't get lost in the process. You know the process and you are able to flawlessly execute your plan. Because without execution and discipline, you can have a plan, you could want to lose weight, but who has the discipline to actually follow it through? Have a strict diet, hit the gym. And that's what I, as your coach, will help you execute your plan, help you build your plan, and then how to make a realistic plan based on your goals. Once you have the blueprint and you know the process, the last and third part is the trader's playbook. Most people only know how to make money if a stock goes up. They only know how to buy because that's what the public teaches them. But I'll show you how to short stock. How do you make money when the stocks go down, right? Because if you're only reliant on one direction, right now there's a war in Iran, the markets are pulling back, your playbook, your portfolio is taking a hit and you don't even know what to do. You just pull your money out and then watch it go right back up, just like the tariffs, right? So you need to know how to profit in any market condition. So number one, you got to determine the outlook using patterns to make predictions. Then you need to select a strategy that matches your outlook. And that's how you become profitable. Most people don't understand this. They learn all the strategies, but then they skip how to recognize patterns. I don't care what strategy you learn. If it doesn't match what you think is going to happen, you'll still lose money. They both go in hand. Because if you have the right outlook, but then you put on the wrong strategy, you still can lose. So I'll teach you how to put yourself in position to put on a high probability strategy where it doesn't matter if the stock goes in your direction. You could actually make money as the stock just stays within a certain range, or as time goes by, or as volatility and fear shrinks. There's so many ways that you can make money, and there's so many strategies in your options playbook. There's over 20 different strategies, and they have cool names like Iron Butterfly, Iron Condor, Jade Lizard. But in reality, they're nothing more than risk graphs. It's just a risk graph of where your risk is, where your reward is, and where the stock has to be within there for you to make or lose money. So the trader's playbook is bull put spreads. This is selling, right? I'm going to teach you how to sell options. That's the master playbook. By buying options, That's the gambler. We want to take advantage of the retail money, right? Gamblers are retail, they're the dumb money. If you want to trade like a professional, you got to think like a market maker, like the institutions. What's their playbook? And then you go in and you take advantage of the retailers. You know where they are, and then you go and liquidate their positions, and then you pocket it. That is how you trade like the house. That's what casinos do. They transfer money from the gambler's pocket into the casino's pocket. That's what insurance companies do. They take your premium month after month and they put it into their pockets. When you're paying for car insurance, every month you're paying $300. If you don't get into an accident, the company keeps your $300. They do this a million times over a million people, and they get this money month after month after month. And they take all their profits and then they pay out the few losers, the accidents that people get into. They can pay it using their winnings or the premiums. And then at the end, they're still able to make billions of dollars. That is what my objective is, to teach you how to become your own one person insurance company selling insurance on stock. And if the stock doesn't get into an accident, you get to keep the premium. It all makes sense. It's all based on math. Because options expire, there's a probability based into each one of those pricing models. And if you know how to understand probabilities, standard deviation, implied volatility, you can now take advantage of those variables instead of being taken advantage of. So that is my goal for this channel. And if you guys are interested, subscribe, leave a comment, help me spread the word. I'm not trying to gatekeep this information. I learned this over years and decades of trial and error, signing up for courses, learning it on my own, meeting mentors. And I was sold many false dreams. I had to learn the hard way. And then finally, when I met Thinkorswim's founder, Tom Sosnoff, worked with him on the education side, I said, you know what? I want to teach this to others who don't have a lot of money, who are just the average investor like me. You can start this with as little as $3,000 because options allow you to be able to control the house with a lot less money. Like a down payment, you only have to put 10% down payment on a house, just like the stock. You only have to put a 10% down payment on a stock. Apple, you could trade for as little as $2 a share, right? But you're using the leverage of options. And this is the key to accelerating your wealth. And when you sell them, you can actually generate income.